race again as soon as possible. And my first race back went pretty well. It was Antwerp 70.3, and I came second, and I thought, okay, that's not so bad, because I was feeling a bit of guilt because Abu Dhabi, the team was paying me, and they'd had faith in me, and I spent the first 6 months of the year not racing. And after after Antwerp, then my results just really going down again. I raced Wiesbaden 70.3, and the team manager was out there watching me, and he went home halfway through the bike because he couldn't believe I was still out on the course. He just assumed I'd punctured, but I was like limping my way around. And again, I was so tempted just to call it quits in T2, but there was another girl in T2, and she was so happy and smiley. I thought, come on, just go and have fun on the run. But it wasn't a good race. I think I came 8th, and I had to call my team manager and say, I did finish, you know. Can you bring my kit back, please? And it transpired I had blood tests done, and I was actually pretty anemic, which kind of explained why my training was so bad. And it was by this time it's late August. I'm training about 8 hours a week, and Kona is 6 weeks away, and I'm thinking, this is just going to be a disaster. And I was saying to kind of my coach and to my friends and family, I was like, I don't really want to go, I just don't think I can have a good race. And they were like, no, come on, just keep plugging away. And I went, I had to go because it was a commitment with the team. And I flew out to California, and I had a few days training with my coach, and I was sat in his kitchen, and this is literally 4 weeks out from Kona 2010, and I'm bawling my eyes out going, oh, having a good race is just impossible. And he's like, okay, crying girl in the kitchen, we need to get a plan together. And at that moment I thought a good race in Hawaii was impossible. But we sat down and we're like, okay, you've got 4 weeks. Forget about, the training that you haven't done. We effectively threw the standard Ironman training book out the window, and we're like, okay, we're going for a different approach. And I had a really low volume training. I was training 15 or 16 hours. When I did get to the team training camp in Santa Monica, the joke became, where's Rachel? She's sleeping. So I was training much less than anyone else in the team, but I just committed 100% to the plan that me and Matt had come up with. And I didn't think about what I hadn't done. I just thought about what I was doing in those 4 weeks. And I turned up into Kona, and I had this belief that I could have a good race. And I sat down with Matt 3 days out from race day, and I said, I really want to go top 5. I came 6th last year. I really want to go one better this year. And what that showed me, it was like a case of mind over matter, because I'm not exaggerating. I really had very low volume going into this race, but I just adapted, and I learned so much from 2010, even though it was I don't really want to repeat the year, but it just taught me to kind of be able to adapt to the circumstances that you're given. And if you commit to a new plan, you can achieve more than you think is possible. And I came 5th, and I was extremely happy. I don't think I'll ever replicate the feeling I had of running down the finishing chute in 2009, because that was almost an unreal feeling. But I was really proud of myself as well, because mentally more than physically it'd been really tough to prepare for this race. But I'm not a special, that's nothing special. Everyone's always, I think Chrissy this year showed that dealing with adverse circumstances is all part of the sport, and I think everyone on the start line has things that they're dealing with. I think very few people, like, perfect preparation is almost as elusive as the perfect race. So it's just adapting and dealing with the circumstances you're given, and kind of racing is all about giving everything you've got on the day and, you know, hoping it works out. So post Hawaii 2010, I had a bit of a debrief with my coach, and he was like, so now do you believe that you can really be a contender in this race? It's like, not really. I still think that maybe other people didn't have a good race that day, and, you know, I just got lucky. And I think by this time he's like, come on, I can believe in you, but if you don't believe in you, you know, you're going to really hold yourself back. I think I should have drawn a line under 2010 after Hawaii, but instead I went to Ironman Arizona, because I was pretty race fresh. And actually in Arizona I then got, I was knocked off my bike by another cyclist on the bike route and dislocated my shoulder. So the roller coaster ride of 2010 ended on a bit of a dip, but I had a good off season anyway. So then 2011 went, I may be a professional, but I still can't find a helmet that fits me. A lot of people took the mickey out of me for that particular. I did better in 2011. So this year has gone much more smoothly, I'll say, and how I really wanted 2010 to go. And I really feel like I've kind of shown the progression that can be achieved through just consistent training, nothing groundbreaking, but just consistency and staying healthy and staying injury free. And yeah, I got my first Ironman title in Ironman Lanzarote, and almost as importantly for me was that I got the run course record there, because I'm not known as a runner, and I always, you know, I start strong or with the swim, and then the bike was pretty solid, and then I'd spend the run looking over my shoulder. So it was kind of nice to prove to myself that, you know, actually I can hold my own on the run too. And had a really good build into Kona with the team again, this time in Arizona. And Matt, my coach, has the saying, fit and fresh. So I arrived in Kona and I felt fit, but I didn't feel tired. I felt really ready and excited to be racing again. And I came fourth, which is still only good enough to make me the third Brit home. So I must do better. But I would say, like, I was satisfied to happy with my race. I mean, I could never be disappointed with it. I mean, it was the fastest Ironman I'd ever done. But what I took from Hawaii this year is almost more valuable than any other result, but because I got a belief, like one day after that race, I was just sat there and I thought, you know, had I had the best day possible, I would have really been in contention for the win yesterday. And that wasn't me making excuses, because I firmly believe that racing is about you being able to put your best foot forward on the day. And I know that I gave absolutely everything in that race, but had I done, you know, I'd had some really good run training, and had I run as I really wanted to, I'd have really been in the mix for the top spot. So I was more excited about that new belief that I had, that one day, you know, in the next few years, I think I can really go for the win in Kona. And I think that's a relief to my coach as well. It's like, finally, because no matter how well I prepare for a race physically, if mentally I'm not thinking that I can win a race, whatever race it is, you know, it's simply not going to happen. So yeah, it was a good feeling. People love this photo because normally I just have this like one expression for the entirety of the run, but you'll see that I overtook Caroline Steffen, and this is with 300 meters to go from the finish line, so I literally had to close my eyes and grit my teeth and to fight for 4th place. So I was looking for a way to round up this talk, and you know, I could have quoted Shakespeare or I don't know what, but I was on Twitter and I saw that someone had retweeted this, and I just thought it really kind of sums up how I feel about kind of how I've progressed through the sport. And it's, many people think that belief is something you are born with, but that's not true. Belief is not a given, belief is practiced, belief is earned. And I really think that's true, you know, through the racing you do and through preparing for a race. It means that you can believe that something is possible. So now it's question time.
Can we put the lights on, Rachel?
Yeah.